For many international students dreaming of studying in the United States, figuring out when to apply can be sometimes confusing. In fact, some do not even know when the next application timeline is. But you know what? You need to understand the admission process and the start date so you can plan ahead. Application is not about you just saying, I will apply, I am going to apply. It's not just about talking about it. You need to take action. So, when exactly do you have to apply? Let's break down the admission cycle to find out. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Olamide Mercy. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel and don't forget to turn on your notifications so you'll be notified when I drop a new video. And to my returning subscribers, thank you all for always coming back to watch my videos. You all are amazing. Back to graduate application. This video aims to guide graduate school applicants through the application cycle. You might have been hearing keywords like fall 2025, spring 2023, spring 2024, and you're not really familiar with these words. I will be sharing insights about them, and also I'll be sharing insight about how to apply and how much time you need to allocate for your application. We will discuss the application timeline, we'll discuss deadlines, and some other important tips to ensure a smooth application process. So grab your popcorn and make sure you watch this video to the end so you don't miss any important details. Alright, let's get started. So there are typically three main admission cycles for graduate programs in the US. We have the application cycle for fall semester, the second one is for spring, and the third one is summer. Just like I said, the three main, that does not mean that is the only three we have, but that is what is common to most schools in the United States. So let's begin with the first one, the fall admission cycle. The fall admission cycle is the most common for graduate programs in the US, and as a result, it is the most competitive admission cycle. So for the fall, classes usually start in August or September. So take note of this. If you are looking forward, if you are applying for fall semester, or you're doing the application cycle for fall, then that means your class start date is August or September, depending on your school. Take note of that. So when then is the application period? The application period for fall semester usually varies, and it is mostly between 9 to 12 months before the program start date. That is most often in the preceding fall or winter. So let me give an example. Let's say you're applying for, or for those that have applied for fall 2024, they've started the application that last fall or last winter, this past winter. So that is August, last August or December. You understand? So fall is symbolized with August, like fall, August, winter, December, January, stuff like that. So, and if you want to apply for 2025, that means you'll be looking forward to starting your application this coming fall or this coming winter. That is August, December. So this period gives prospective students, that is, students that are applying, enough time to research programs. If you need to search for schools, if you need to look out for your research interest, it gives them time. And also, it gives students time to prepare their application materials. If you want to take any standardized test, or probably you want to do any evaluation. So that is the period in which you have to do all these things. So let's talk about the deadlines for fall application cycle. So the deadlines usually varies among programs or among schools, and I would say for some schools it usually starts. The deadline is mostly in December, while some might extend into February or even later. So it is important for you as an applicant to check out with your schools, go to their website, or probably ask questions and ensure you know the deadline so you can know how to prepare, how to get everything ready. That is very important. I'm also going to have this if you are looking for funding. Most graduate programs, they usually offer funding opportunities such as scholarships or assistantships or fellowships. And these opportunities, they usually have separate deadlines which is different from the general application deadline. So take note of this. If you are looking for funding, check for the specific deadlines and stick to those, stick to that deadline because it's very important. It's very important for you to follow deadlines. That is that. So I'm just going to give a general tips if you're applying for fall 2025 because I believe that is the next application cycle coming up for fall. For 2024 is almost gone already. The application, I mean, application period. So if you're applying for fall 2025, you want to take note of these tips I'll be talking about. Like just make sure you start early. So once you've researched your program, start early, start preparing your documents, your if you need to do anything, start research, start doing everything. Take action. Don't procrastinate. That is very important. It's going to help you a lot. Another tips I'm going to give you is that you need to start talking to your recommenders. It's not you that is going to write letter of recommendation for yourself. So start talking to them. Let them know your plans. Not that it is when you have 2 weeks to your deadline that you start running up and down for them to write you a letter of recommendation. It's not really, it doesn't speak well because you want them to submit a strong letter of recommendation for you. So that way, give them enough time for them to write it very well. And there is no, it's not just even about writing. So they don't miss the submission date for the letter of recommendation. And if you want to take any standardized test, start preparing for your standardized test so that you can excel and there is nothing delaying your applications. That is it about the fall admission cycle. So let's move to the next one, which is the spring application cycle. The spring admission cycles, they are less common compared to the fall admission cycles, and they usually have later application period. Classes for spring usually start in January. So take note of that. If you are applying for spring, you should know that your class start date begins in January. So when is the application period for spring? So the application period varies just the same way fall admission varies among programs or among schools. But generally, the application period usually begins like it's usually around 6 to 9 months before the program start date, and that is in the preceding summer or fall. So if you're looking forward to applying for spring 2025, which is January 2025, you're still on the right track. You still have time. You can still submit your application. So take note of that. Now let's talk about deadlines. When is the deadline for spring admission? Just the same way the application period varies, the deadline varies too with programs and schools, specific schools. So, but I'm just going to say the general deadlines, what is common to most schools. Generally, deadlines for spring admission is usually between August to October, okay? So, you as an applicant, you want to check with your school, the specific program you're applying to, check their deadlines so you can plan ahead. Likewise, in terms of funding deadlines also differs. In fact, spring admission, because they are less common, not all schools admit students for spring. Okay, and even some schools that admit students, they do not offer funding opportunities during like in spring session. So check all these things for you to plan ahead so that you will not just be applying without, for instance, if you are looking for funding and you start applying for spring and you do not check if they'll be offering funding opportunities, it's more or less like you've wasted your time. So check out with your school if they are offering funding opportunities. If not, channel your energy into the right schools. Okay, when I mean right schools, into schools that you get what you want. That is that. So general tips to note if you're applying for spring, make sure you do your research very well and check for opportunities that are available for you. Also, note that there is increased competition because there are limited schools that admit students for spring. As a result of that, a lot of people will be applying to a specific school, like a particular school that offers student admission for spring. So make sure you submit a strong application to whatever schools you're applying to. When I mean strong application, I mean your statement of purpose. Ensure that it is strong, like it is motivating, your research statement, your academic CV, your letter of recommendations. All these things rally around you planning ahead so you'll be able to submit a strong letter of recommendation. And yes, if you need tips on how to write your statement of purpose, academic CV, letter of recommendations, I have shared the video where I talked about all these things. So I will advise you to watch those videos because it's going to help you in writing your statement of purpose, your academic CV, like tips on how you can get your letter of recommendation, what you need to note, mistakes to avoid. So take note of that. So let's go back to our admission cycle. The last one I'll be talking about is the summer admission cycle. So the summer admission cycle is the less common compared to fall and spring. It is just few programs or certain fields or probably like research opportunities, certain research opportunities that offer a summer start date. So the application period just depends on the program or if it is a professor that is bringing you in as a research assistant. It all depends, it varies. So there is no formula to all these things. It varies widely among programs. Take note of that. Same thing with the deadline. The deadline for summer generally, I would say it depends. But for most schools, it's usually like a month to a year before the program start date. Okay, so take note of all these things so you can plan very very well. Tips to note if you're applying for summer: not all schools offer a summer start date, and in terms of funding as well, lesser schools offer like funding for summer start date. So take note of all these things. Your field might not be offering, your research programs might not be offering a summer start date. So you don't just say you won't be saying, I'm going to be applying for summer, I'll be applying for summer. No. Check if your school is admitting students for that program start date you're interested in. So that is it. Please note that not all schools offer the 3 start dates. Why some might offer just one. Some schools might just be offering admission for just the fall semester. Some might be offering for both fall and spring, and some might be offering for the 3 admission cycles. So do your research as an applicant. If you're applying, check out for the programs that you're interested in this particular school. Look out for the cycles that they have, the opportunities they have. This is going to help you to plan very well. So just a summary of all what I've been saying, general tips to take note of as an applicant. Number 1, start right now. Start researching the programs that you're interested in. Look out for schools that you like to apply to and take note of all these things. Number 2, once you've gotten your research programs, you know that you're going to be applying to the school, start your application. Okay, writing academic CV, statement of purpose, talking to your your recommenders, it takes time. So start on time. That is number 2 tips I'm going to get to advice. The third one is that check out for the funding opportunities that are available and the start dates for the program that you're applying to. This is going to help you plan ahead. For instance, if probably you are still like in the middle of something, probably you're still in your bachelor's program or you're still like doing something, this will help you like have a foresight of what you need to do, how much time you need to like prepare for your application. So take note of that. Number 4 is that ask questions. You can always reach out to the graduate coordinator or the academic coordinator of that particular program that you're applying to. If you have any questions, if there are certain things that are not clear that you can't find on the website about the admission cycle or about their research opportunities or funding opportunities, always ask questions. Send a polite email and I'm sure they're going to respond to you. Okay? Then lastly, number 5 is that stay organized. This is very important and this is going to save you a lot of stress. Okay, as you're Getting the list of schools you want to apply to, the programs, you need to like keep a track of them. You want to keep a track of them. So you can just create a checklist of all these things, probably a spreadsheet. Or even if you cannot create a spreadsheet, you can have like a small notebook. For instance, I know that I'll be applying to two schools. I'll have the name of the schools written in each page. Check for the requirements, write their requirements. Look out for the deadlines, write the deadlines. Then set targets for yourself, and you have a goal that this is what I want to achieve. This is what I am looking out for. You understand? This is going to help you keep track of all what you're doing, and with that, you're going to achieve something. That is it. I hope you found this video enlightening and that your dream of studying in the United States is getting to become a reality. Please take note of all these things. Note that you have to start your application. Don't procrastinate. There is no result without you taking action. And don't be shy to ask questions. This is very important in this journey. All right. If you found this video helpful, please like this video, drop a comment, and subscribe if you are yet to subscribe. And if you're yet to turn on your notifications, please do so. And also share this video with your friends and families. All right. Thank you so much. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.